Hey everyone, welcome back to Trip Tales, the podcast where real people share their real trip stories, giving you destination inspiration and practical planning tips. Today is a fun one because one of our regulars, Ryan, is back, and this time he's brought his wife, Heather, with him to join in on the fun. Ryan is basically an OG Trip Tales guest, one of the very first people I ever had on the show. He's taken us along to Costa Rica and Belize in past episodes, but today we are switching things up from a tropical getaway to the bright lights of Vegas. Yes, and the Backstreet Boys at the Sphere. If you're listening to the podcast, you're going to love this episode. But if you're a YouTube person, this one will be one you might want to watch. We've got Sphere video clips, concert highlights, and behind the scenes vibes that will make this one extra fun. You can find the full episode by searching Trip Tales over on YouTube. So let's get into it. Welcome, Ryan and Heather. Thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, great to be back, Kelsey. Thank you.
I start every episode with a rapid fire get to know you. And since we've already heard from Ryan a couple of times on the podcast, Heather, why don't you tell us where y'all live, what you do, and about your family?
So we live in the suburbs of Cleveland. We're in a little town called Streetsboro, and we have 4 children who we very rarely take on super fun trips for now. So I work with a company that does audio, video, and lighting installation and integrations. So I am the director of operations and strategic planning. So I spend all day planning and business growth, and it's exhausting and brain numbing and a lot of fun at
Which
the
is
same
why you need these getaways.
Which is why I need these getaways, and I enjoy it very much. And the best part about traveling with my husband is the fact that I don't have to do any of the work for it at all. I am very much a poster child for passenger princess. I pretty much show up with a suitcase and Ryan does everything for me. It's
I am
wonderful.
so jealous. That sounds amazing. And, he has been on the podcast a couple of times, so he plans some awesome trips. And I really do love that you guys prioritize your couples getaways because we try to as well. And I just feel like with a lot of kids and a lot of life going on and busy jobs, it's just really important to make those things happen because they go a long way. Even a 3-night trip, I always tell people it doesn't have to be this week-long big getaway. 3 nights goes a long way when you're like alone without the kids doing something fun.
Oh yeah. We can cram a lot of good times into three nights
Same.
away. Yeah.
Well, yeah,
Okay.
when you don't have to find a restaurant that serves chicken tenders, it's amazing what you can accomplish. So,
Seriously. Okay, the Sphere. I have been seeing videos on Instagram and TikTok of this concert, and even the amateur iPhone videos are mind-blowing. But let's back up a bit and talk about why you guys planned this trip in the first place.
So Ryan was kind enough, and I've got the best husband ever, I will say that, because he does a great job of finding all of my interests and running with them, even when they don't interest him at all, which is where he gets massive brownie points for this particular trip, because I have been a diehard Backstreet Boys fan for the last, 30 something years. They were my first concert when I was 14. I've been a boy band fan and they were huge in my teen years. This was kind of a birthday, Christmas combination, but the man joined the Backstreet Boys fan club so that I could get tickets for this. Like, that's love. And we looked at a lot of different options because the prices definitely ebb and flow when it comes to the Sphere, and depending on what show you want to see and just the overall cost of the trip. And we always use miles and points to get wherever we want to go. Vegas is a little bit of a different animal that way when it comes to hotels. So it was a big deciding factor as to how worth it was it going to be. And I will be totally honest, when we were planning it, I was on the fence. Like, I love them, but I haven't listened to their music in a hot minute. They haven't had anything new come out recently. And we looked at some music festivals that we both just decided I think we're just too old to do standing for 8 hours a day for 3 days straight. And so this was the win. We've done Vegas separately, but we had never done Vegas together as a couple. And so we made the final call that Backstreet Boys was going to win this one out for our summer trip for just the two of us.
So fun. You mentioned the tickets and joining the fan club. That was an awesome move, Ryan. I was curious how hard it is to get tickets. How, like, is this, I went to the Taylor Swift Eras Tour. That was legitimately impossible. The only reason I went is because at the last minute, my father just purchased tickets. It was like, just please go.
That's sweet.
But like, is it that hard? Do you have to be willing to like, tell me about purchasing tickets. If someone wanted to go, I know they released more dates. What is the ticket purchasing process like?
So all the tickets are through Ticketmaster or Live Nation. They own almost everything now. When tickets first came out, you join the fan club. It gets you access a day or two earlier than the rest of the folks. I actually did not buy them then because they were getting scooped up so fast, and the prices are surge pricing. So the faster they get scooped up, the higher the prices go. And so we actually held off, and I just kept watching it and watching it. Finally, I want to say 3 months ahead of time, somewhere in that neighborhood, when we finally nailed down what we were going to do, we pulled the trigger. And I want to say I got them through StubHub instead, but they went right into my Ticketmaster app. So it was pretty seamless. But this was the most I'd ever spent on a concert. And in hindsight, apparently I've been sheltered because they were $250 a piece for general admission, standing right by the stage. And I like had to close my eyes and click submit and remind myself that I love my wife and that I'm doing this for good reasons. If you look at the ticket
I
prices
thought they
now,
would be more.
well, they are
They are
now.
now.
Now they're $600 and $700 a piece. So,
Yeah.
so
I was picturing much more. Our here in Franklin, Tennessee, we have Pilgrimage Festival, which is, like you said, an outdoor festival. It's really fun. It's a great one, but it doesn't draw the biggest names. This year it's John Mayer and Kings of Leon, and we've just been going back and forth. We're not going to end up going, but those tickets are upwards of 150, 250 for the 2 days, maybe even more. So for Backstreet Boys at the Sphere, I feel like you guys really got a deal there.
yeah, we absolutely did. We just didn't realize it at the time.
Got it.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay. So people can just get onto the regular ticketing platforms and purchase tickets those ways if there still are any. Okay, Heather, before we get into this, we need to understand just how obsessed you were with the Backstreet Boys. So I'm going to ask a few Backstreet Boys questions.
Oh
Who
gosh.
was your favorite Backstreet Boy?
AJ, I had a bad boy phase in my early teens into mid-teens. And then I met Ryan, and I have been married for almost 20 years now. And we started dating when I was 17. So he came
Aw.
in, he was not a bad boy at all. He was
No.
adorably sweet and nerdy and wonderful. And so, yeah, AJ was my favorite. Still
Well, I'm
is,
glad you
to be
didn't go
fair.
down the bad boy route, but at least you had AJ for that
Yeah,
time period.
had a moment.
Yeah. What is your favorite Backstreet Boys song of all time?
I have so many. Honestly, their entire Siberia is probably my favorite, but that entire Never Gone album got me through. It sounds so silly. When I was 20, I think it was during my summer internship, it was the first time I'd ever left home. And I lived in Philadelphia, 5.5 hours from my fiance at the time, and my family knew zero people. And it came out that summer, and it was on repeat all summer long. So every time I hear it, I flash back to like a terrified, can't even drink yet 20-year-old in the middle of a city she's never been to.
I
It's
love
great.
it. And then last but not least, what's the most extreme thing you did as a fan back in the day?
I have a girlfriend at the time that her mom got us tickets. They were nosebleeds. We made the signs and held up, marry me, AJ kind of things, which was hilarious looking back. I'm shocked that my mom let me go to this concert with my friend's mom, who I don't even think went in with us. Like, I think she just kicked us out in Pittsburgh, and we went in. My memories are foggy from when I was 14. It's been a long time, but it was a hilarious thing to recall. I looked at my mom and I was like, why on earth? Like, I don't even remember saying yes to that. So I must have
Yeah,
had
I
a
mean,
lot.
you know how it is. It's like sometimes you're like, I don't know, fine, please just stop
Yeah.
asking me. Sure. Okay,
Yeah.
so you guys took your summer trip, July 2025, 3-night trip, a 3-night couples getaway to Vegas, which we already talked about. We think is like just enough time for a quick couples getaway and probably Vegas as well. So let's get into this trip. We are going to go day by day because we don't want to miss any details. So you had direct flights on a Thursday from Cleveland to Vegas. Upon arriving to the airport, where are you staying and how did you get there?
So we actually didn't have direct flights to Vegas. Cleveland
I
has
just assumed that.
well, we used to. United and Spirit did away with their Vegas direct flights. So now you have one a day on Southwest, and you have, I think, twice a day on Frontier. And so if you don't value your leg room, you can go on Frontier. And Southwest, the
Mhm.
timing just didn't quite work out right. So we actually took American through Dallas to get to Vegas. Everything went very smoothly. This is how
Mhm.
you know you're a travel nerd. We actually went through Dallas because I really wanted to check out the new Capital One Venture X Lounge that
Yep.
they
Mhm.
had there in Dallas. They had an hour and a half wait. We didn't even get to check it out because we wouldn't have made
Nope.
our connecting flight. So,
Oh, bummer.
but
Yeah, it was a bummer.
yeah, but everything went smoothly. We had no problems. We went and sat in a different lounge
Mhm.
instead to kill some time. And then once we got to Vegas, we ended up booking rooms at the Paris Hotel. One thing you have to know about the Paris Hotel is it used to be just a single tower. When
Mhm.
Bally's sold, Paris took over one of the Bally's towers, but that tower
Mhm.
is a walk and a half away. And so here,
Mhm.
of course, is a picture Kelsey just threw up of the replica of the Eiffel Tower, visible from anywhere on the strip. But it is a hike from the front desk when you check in at the Paris to get to that secondary tower that they have since purchased. If you're going to stay there, you're actually further off, getting dropped off at the Horseshoe Casino. It's a significantly
Mhm.
closer walk.
Good to know. So is what we're looking at, that the big thing at the bottom, is that the hotel entrance in the lobby, or is that just, a facade?
Those are facades, restaurants, and shops. And so,
Okay.
yeah, the Eiffel Tower that they have there, that big L-shaped building is the Paris Hotel, and then the Eiffel Tower is overlooking the pool. And so they've got the pool kind of on the rooftop of the facade.
And then tell us about the rooms there. Or first of all, actually, why did you choose the Paris Hotel?
It was relatively affordable in the middle of the strip.
Yeah,
There was not
great.
a lot of rhyme or reason. We've all stayed at various properties. For being a tourist destination, I find the rooms in Vegas to be lacking in most cases. Like there's just not a lot of excitement there. The nicest rooms for my money are either at the Wynn or the Venetian, but you're going to pay for those. And Paris
Mhm.
had a reasonable room rate for while we were staying there. And it's dead smack in the middle, so it was easy to get everywhere we needed to go.
So location was the number one reason.
Yeah.
Here's a stock image of the rooms. Is
Mhm.
this actually how nice they look? Is this what they look like?
Yeah, they were beautiful. I mean, we had a very similar view to that actually too. Our room overlooked the pool and the Eiffel Tower right out the window.
You can tell
Awesome.
that the rooms need upgraded a little bit. Like that blue couch is exactly the couch that we had there, except the corners are all frayed and some of the fabric's
Yeah.
starting to get worn. I mean, it's
Yeah.
Vegas. It can be rustic if you look in the right places, but
Vegas gets a lot of wear and tear.
Yeah.
it does, and we tend not to want to think about how that happens. So we're just going to leave that there. But relatively speaking, the room was large enough. It was nice enough. You know, there were no complaints
Mhm.
about the hotel itself.
So you guys arrive Thursday and you get
Mhm.
settled, checked in, and then that first night you're just kind of exploring and walking the strip and just kind of getting situated in Vegas?
Yeah, we went and bought a ginormous margarita, I think, to split, like what a 48-ounce margarita or something obscene like that, and walked up and down the strip and people watched. Is that the night that we did that late night snack place too, Rye?
So within the Bellagio, they have a snack place that stays open until like 4 a.m. and you can just walk up anytime and on kiosks order things. And after traveling all day, um, onion rings and cheese curds just hit differently at 11 p.m. Vegas time when you're an East
Mhm.
Coaster. So that's what we
Yes,
did the first night.
nice. Vegas knows what they're doing. They're like, keep those fried foods open till 4 a.m.
Mhm.
Is this the
Yep.
night you looked at all this Bellagio conservatory stuff? I just pulled up a photo. The Bellagio, they shared a ton of these amazing like topiaries, and
Oh
it's
yeah.
almost like this massive garden inside. So I pulled up one of these giant chess pieces. It's very cool looking.
Yeah, if you get a chance to walk through the Bellagio, you should. It's really beautiful. How that picture looks is how it looks in real person. Like the
Yeah.
colors are
It's
so
beautiful.
vibrant.
So cool. Okay, so you have your margarita, you have your snacks. I'm also just going to share for fun a quick
Mhm.
photo at night that y'all took because Vegas is fun at night, and here's I'm showing a picture of their hotel with the Eiffel Tower all lit up and all the lights of Vegas. So, I haven't been to Vegas in honestly as long as I can remember. My husband recently went for a conference but he was there alone. He actually went to the Sphere because he just wanted to see it. And they were doing one of the movies, like kind of a, I don't know, like a nature movie or something. He sent us a ton of videos. He said it was incredible and he just kind of wanted to experience it. But outside of that, he was like, if you're just there for a conference, he was kind of ready to go when it was time to go. But I want to go back because I want to go to the Sphere and I want to eat at some really nice restaurants that are all right there, in a line, easy to get to. So I definitely have this on my list.
Yeah, Vegas is the perfect long weekend destination. I kind of throw it in there with like New Orleans. 2 to 3 nights is a healthy amount of time an adult should spend in a city like that.
Yeah,
Once
exactly.
you get beyond that, then it starts to become a little sad.
Exactly. So did you eat dinner somewhere this night or was it just margaritas and snacks?
I don't think we did. I think we got in kind of on the later side that night. So we just snacked and walked and then crashed on the earlier side.
Well, when I looked up the Paris Hotel, I just have to mention this really quick because I don't think you guys ate here because I see your list of restaurants. But when I first searched the Paris Hotel in my research, the first thing that came up is this restaurant that is like one of the reasons I want to go to Vegas, which is Martha Stewart's Bedford restaurant.
Oh, yeah.
And the reason I want to go is because I'm like a potato fan for life. It's like my favorite food group, every form of potatoes. I should have been in the potato famine. Did they eat potatoes or not eat potatoes in the potato famine? I can't remember.
They would have if they had them.
Okay. Well, anyways, I keep getting served this TikTok and this Instagram reel where the Bedford does table side baked potatoes and they smash them open right there and they serve them with they have all these accoutrements from bacon and cheese and sour cream to even I think like a caviar situation. And I'm like, I feel like I need to go to Vegas to get this baked potato.
We
That
walked
wasn't in our algorithm or we would have been there, huh, Rye?
Yeah. We walked past that restaurant, must have been 20 times because it is on the lower level of the Paris Hotel. And you know how Vegas is. Like they find, famous person, flavor of the month. They slap their name on a restaurant. And then in 18 months, when someone else is going to pay them some money, they'll rebrand it. But this Martha Stewart one is definitely branded to be Martha's restaurant, like down to the table settings, to the decor as you walk in. You'll pay for it. Vegas is no longer the home of cheap food. You will pay for most of your dining experiences and pay richly, but the food looked really good as we were browsing as we walked past.
Yeah, and I do have to say, from a research perspective, when I Googled it, it had 4 stars, not 4.5, not 5 on Google reviews. So I was like, maybe the only thing they've got going is the baked potato. I don't know.
That's right.
All right. So Friday, you wake up in Vegas and you are off to a fun excursion, which I love that you're leaving the strip, going to do something out in nature. So did you grab coffee or breakfast each morning in Vegas somewhere easy? What was your plan in the mornings?
That morning, I'm a coffee crazy person, so I don't function well until I have at least some caffeine in my blood. So Ryan and I stopped. We had an early pickup time to do our excursion, so we stopped in the Paris, and they've got all these little coffee shops that have croissants and everything you'd expect for that French kind of vibe. And so we got muffins or cronuts or something that morning. I think we got cronuts, didn't we? Split them.
They were
And,
delicious, whatever they were. I know I
they
ate
were
them.
really
So,
good. It was that croissant donut combination and then a coffee.
yeah. So we had arranged for an early pickup for the Red Rock Canyon tours. There are several tour groups, but this is probably the most well-known one. And I found some Reddit threads that had said this is one of the things you need to do if you want to get off the strip and you're visiting Vegas. This is a really cool experience. And so they pick up from a couple different locations. We were there in the summer, which is actually off season because it tends to get pretty hot. And so they only had to stop at one place, and that was at the Bellagio across the road. It was a fairly easy thing for us to do. We caffeinated Heather and took our walk across the road to the Bellagio parking garage and hopped in the van for the half an hour drive out to the Red Rock Canyons.
So you guys booked a 4-hour scooter tour at Red Rock Canyon, which at first when I read scooter tour, I don't know why, but I was picturing you guys on electric scooters like my children or segways, which don't really go in canyons. But then when I saw the pictures, I was like, oh, these are like moped scooters. These are kind of cool. And this looks kind of fun.
It was
It was another good find
yeah,
on your part.
yeah. like I said, it was going down a rabbit hole of Reddit threads and trying to figure out what to do, and then looking at reviews. I actually booked it through Viator because they had some ridiculous multiplier on Rakuten. So I know we're getting in the weeds, but it was like 15 times every dollar of points, which turn into Amex points then. And so
Yes.
yeah, so like I think the scooter tour cost us, I think it was $125 a person. So it was 250
Mhm.
for the experience. And once again, it's one of those where you're like, how much is this really worth? But I didn't feel like we got ripped off on this. I really enjoyed our four
No,
hours.
it was worth it.
No, and Rakuten helps so much. And actually, Ryan, you'll probably feel for me in this. I I'm getting much better at it and I always try to check it, but every once in a while you're just kind of going through the motions and trying to get stuff done. And last night I checked out on a clothing website for my kids and I'm going back with my teenage daughter what she wants. Da, da, da. I ended up checking out in the app, not on a browser, and it was like 8 times points and I was just like, Chat GPT, can I retroactively? And it's like, not really. They're pretty strict. You can try to submit a ticket, but I was like laying on the couch watching TV and I was like, Kelsey, get over it. Like it might have been 1,000 points. It might have been, 1,500 points. In the grand scheme of life, that's not that much. Like you just need to get over the fact that you didn't check out through Rakuten.
I will catch myself a lot. So I will have stuff in the cart of a store and I'll be like, oh, I should use Rakuten. So what I will do then is close out of the browser, go back in through Rakuten, and most of the times the cart still has the items. So you don't actually have to shop. You already did the shopping and you can get your points
Yes.
still that way. But yeah, there's been plenty of times where, I bought something for the office and I'm like, son of a gun, I missed out on 2,000 points, but this is the way it goes.
Yeah. Okay. I'm just going to let go of that one and move on. Okay, so I have a picture pulled up here of you guys on these cool moped scooters. It almost looks like something you would drive through Italy or something.
Mhm.
Have you guys driven one of these before? And what was it like learning how to drive this?
It was terrifying for like the first minute and a half because they hand you this bike and they're like, okay, they walk you through every step. So um they have you hit the gas, so you go forward like 5 feet and then you let it coast backwards. And so you get a feel for how the bike actually moves. And then they make you do loops around the parking lot. So that way you get used to just driving it and accelerating and how you don't have to brake that often and all of that great stuff. And it got to be, we were pretty comfortable before we actually went onto the road. Where we did the tour was through the park itself, and it's a 13-mile loop that you just start on one end and it's one way and you go the whole way through the park. So you didn't have to worry about oncoming traffic. People knew to pass on the left. And it was less intimidating after the first few minutes.
And the roads were
They
paved
were
the whole
so
time.
cute too.
Yeah, I mean, and the roads were paved, so we weren't,
Mhm.
we weren't off-roading it at all. Most of the
Yeah.
time, you didn't really get going full speed until the very end. But I know they told me the bike I was on had a top speed of almost 40 miles an hour.
Oh,
So
wow.
they do have a
Yeah.
little bit of giddy up to them. It's just that you're going up and down some pretty significant elevations, so you really aren't going all that fast, all that often.
That is cool, that it's all paved and it's one way. And so you're kind of like, once you get comfortable and you get used to it, you're kind of going this one loop all the way around. And some of the views you sent, which we'll share some videos in a minute, are just amazing. I was not like prepared for that. I wasn't expecting it to be so amazing. It reminds me of our recent trip out to Arizona and the Grand Canyon and all those areas where you feel like you're almost on another planet. It just doesn't even look like you just came from Vegas 30 minutes away.
Correct, and the elevation, I wanna say, was a couple thousand feet on some of those rock faces. I know they pointed out one of the cliffs that we were standing relatively close to, and they said that rock face is taller than, the Empire State Building, and it's just kind
Wow.
of crazy to try and picture that. It might have even been this one here, but, I mean,
Yeah.
these you're at several thousand feet elevation, which is remarkable when you think that 30 minutes ago you were in the bright lights of the Vegas Strip.
Well, the best part too was we went in the middle of the summer. And so it dropped, 12 degrees from when we left the desert part of Vegas to go up higher up. And it was a lot more comfortable and refreshing compared to where we started that morning because it got hot that day.
Awesome. I'm going to share a quick video of what you guys saw on this tour because I definitely think, many people who listen to this probably would go to a concert in Vegas, but also very much appreciate like an excursion outside of Vegas. So here's the first one.
We'll do that here in a second. We'll do that. All right. Very misleading, eh? Yep.
It was definitely beautiful. And they did say that there had been some rain in recent days. And so they usually have people that you can see climbing it because it's one of those parks that people can go in, they can hike, you can climb the rock. There are a lot of freestyle climbers who will just scale certain peaks of a lot of the mountains that we saw that day. But the sandstone crumbles whenever it gets wet. So they weren't able to, that was a day that there weren't any climbers out.
I pulled up another picture here of the canyons and the rocks, and it's so beautiful. This is an amazing photo. I can't believe people climb this stuff and free climb this stuff.
Oh yeah, yeah. No,
Yeah.
well, there's crazy people everywhere, is what I've discovered. But but these guys are from a different world. The folks that can free climb.
Mhm.
One of the cool things about this tour company is that both of the folks who are on the tour with you are actually really good photographers. So most of these
Mhm.
photos and the photos of us, they would just take your cell phone and take 30 photos, but they knew the angles and the lighting, and they would adjust all kinds of settings to get the most perfect photos. So they
Yeah.
really made it easy on you.
That's what they did in Antelope Canyon too. When we recently went in Page, Arizona, we have the most insane photos. I actually got them made into big, like wood frames in my home because they were so good. And same thing, the tour guides, I'm like, it's so smart. At the end, you're like, I'll tip you $30.
Yeah.
Thank you for these amazing photos. But yeah, they're sitting there adjusting all the settings, and I'm kind of like, can you like save that as a preset, please? Because I love what you're doing here. And then they'll take the photos, and you've got these amazing takeaways, which does make kind of the cost of these tours even more worth it.
Mhm. Absolutely.
Well, and we've done Vegas separately before. Like we've gone for conferences, I've gone for girls' weekends, and this was the one trip we were planning together. Neither of us love to just I love to sit by a pool and relax, but Vegas is very people-y. It's just always crowded even on its hot, slow times. So, I think when we were planning this, Ryan did a great job of finding us something that was a little bit more adventurous and outside of our comfort zone. So it was a great way to kind of just take us out of what everyone expects Vegas to be. And it gave us a really cool adventure in the middle of all of our city time.
Well, and Vegas has its warts, and so
Mhm.
the pools are not spectacular anymore, and there's only so much you can do, and it's July, so I think the last 2 days we were there got up to like 104, and they'll
Mhm.
they'll tell you it's a dry heat, but let me tell you, it's darn hot. Like it doesn't matter
Well,
if it's
yeah.
humid or not. Like it's just really hot. So you were just trying to find things that you could do that would be a little atypical, and like I said, we lucked into this one. This was a great find, and I'd recommend it to anybody.
I'm going to share one more video of you did kind of a 360 view of the area before we head back to the lights of Vegas. So one more view of nature, and then we'll go back to Vegas. It's so cool. And even there, you can kind of see that paved road and the parking lot. And that makes it more comforting to me as someone who would like to do something like this, but doesn't really want to be, riding those on the rocks and the mountains.
Yeah.
So I like the paved portion of this.
This is very tourist friendly. Like I would
Mhm.
say, if you have a child who can ride a bike well, I wouldn't hesitate to have them do something like this. It was very, very easy.
Yeah, we
Awesome.
looked at each other at the end and said we could have done this with our kids and they would have loved it.
Awesome. Good to know. Okay. So great tour. Highly recommend. And then you head back to Vegas and you have a show you choose to go to tonight. Before the show, did you guys grab dinner somewhere on Friday night?
When we got back after this, the first place we went was In-N-Out for lunch, and we had a late lunch at In-N-Out, which was phenomenal for just being what it is. And a milkshake after being in the desert was a lot of fun. And then we went back and relaxed for a hot minute, right? And then we went to New York for the show that we were going to see and had dinner at a Mexican restaurant there, but I can't remember what it was called.
Gonzalez y Gonzalez, which is
Yes,
right on the
so
main
good.
level of New York, New York. Very solid food. I would
Mhm.
say that for what it was, prices were good. Food was excellent.
Mhm.
I had no complaints
Margarita was
about it.
good.
Yeah.
Perfect.
The real reason we ended up over there is we were seeing Mad Apple, which is
Mhm.
sort of a spinoff of a Cirque du Soleil show, and it's in the theater in New York, New York. So figured it was an easy way to go over there and grab something to eat first before we wandered down to the theater.
Okay, and how did you pick this show?
Oh, this was a great find. So I've wanted to see a Cirque du Soleil show. Heather has seen a couple. I never have. And tickets can be kind of crazy and hard to come by depending on what the show is. And so this show is a little bit more of a variety show. They have the acrobatics, but they also have a comedian. They have all kinds of people doing all kinds of crazy things. And it's a little bit more intimate of a theater. And so I got tickets for this like 3 days before we left for $25 a person.
What?
And so that's
You can hardly go to a high school football game for that these days.
correct. Yes. Yeah. Well, and especially not south of the Mason-Dixon. That's religion down there for you folks. So. But it was a really cool show. And to make it even better, I had taken these seats in the back that were like a bar seating, just because they were so affordable. They hadn't sold out the show. And so 10 minutes before the show starts, this lady comes back to us and says, "We'd like to move your seats. Follow me." And we ended up, 3 rows away from the stage. They just moved us down there because
We were the
Amazing.
second row back from the stage.
yeah. And now this is my nightmare because I've read the reviews. Someone's going to get pulled up on stage, and I don't want it to be me. So
You're like, I chose the back seats for a reason.
yes, I thought I had done my homework well, and this was going to work out great. But I did not get pulled up on stage, so it all ended up being okay. But we went from bar seating to like these full padded recliners, 2 rows off of the stage. Yeah, someone was smiling down on us that night. That was a wonderful evening.
It was fun.
It was such a cool show too, because where that bar is, the light up part underneath the stage there is actually a bar. So before the show starts, it's a full circular bar that you can walk up to. I went and got a drink and brought it back to my seat
wow.
before they moved us up. And then the stage actually comes down and covers the bar area. Yeah, it was really kind
And
of amazing.
to make it even more fun, on stage on either side, there's bars as well. So before the
Oh,
show
it's
starts,
Vegas, baby.
people go up there and they're taking photos with the props. And of course, anybody who's there for a bachelorette party has to get their photo op. Like, it is Vegas through and through. Then it all flattens out when the stage takes shape. But it's a really cool venue.
So a great show. If you don't, want to spend an arm and a leg on one of the more expensive shows, you can still get some entertainment at a decent price at the Mad Apple Show, a Cirque du Soleil show. Okay, so that was Friday, and then Saturday you wake up and this is the big day. This is the day. So tell us how you start your day, your big Backstreet Boys day.
We started with breakfast at Amelia's in the Paris hotel, and it was phenomenal. Our waiter was amazing. The coffee was so good. And it was just, we ate until we could eat no more, and we could not finish what we had. Like, it was probably one of the best meals we had there, was that brunch. We
Awesome.
slept in that morning and then went to brunch. And yeah, I can't remember what I ate other than those potatoes. Those potatoes! They have fantastic potatoes. So if you're going to
have to
Vegas,
go.
pork potatoes. Amelia's breakfast potatoes were fantastic.
Forget the Sphere. Maybe I'll just make a potato tour of Vegas.
Yeah, and they have indoor and outdoor seating. We sat outside, so you're elevated, kind of looking down the sidewalks beside the Paris hotel. But they also have indoor seating if you prefer a little quieter environment. They're one of the places that'll have bottomless mimosas for folks. We did not partake, but
Yeah, you had a long day you had to prepare for.
Oh, yeah,
Long day. I did not want to make any choices I was going to regret by mid-afternoon if I needed a nap. We had the best breakfast, though, and we did sit outside under the canopy, and we got to watch the fountain tour at the Bellagio, because you're right across from the Bellagio. So it was great people
fun.
watching, and the music was beautiful. Like, it was the best, I think the best meal. We both really enjoyed that the most.
yeah.
Awesome. And then before getting ready for the concert, did you guys spend a few hours at the Paris Hotel pool?
Yep, that's exactly what we did. It was Vegas through and through. It was crowded. It was loud. It made 40-year-old Ryan regret some choices of where he stayed, but
Not very much swimsuit.
Yeah, but actually, it was just so darn hot. That was the hottest day while we were there. It was getting up to like 107 degrees, and so we had gone to the pool at like 10:30 or 11 in the morning Vegas time, and by 1:30 or 2, we were cooked. It was starting to get plenty hot, and we were looking for some air conditioning.
I'm assuming do pools like this have like chair side beverage and food service and all that kind of stuff?
Yep, but
Say
they were few and far between, and trying to find a chair for this particular day because it was so hot and it was midday in Vegas. We lucked into two, and then it was like every man for himself for everybody walking past us. They were making laps trying to figure out where they were going to put their stuff down. There
Okay,
was a
yeah.
bar really close to where we were, so Ryan just ended up getting us drinks instead of waiting on a server, but they did have that. You could rent the little day beds, and they have some cabanas. On a past trip to Vegas when I did a girls' weekend, we actually got a Groupon deal for one of the cabanas at the Paris hotel. We stayed at Park MGM, but then we came over here for the day, and it was lovely and not nearly as crowded. So this was a big change from a Monday afternoon to a Saturday for sure.
Yes. So you have your pool time and then you're like, okay, it's hot. It's time to get ready. Really, the reason we're here is for this afternoon and evening. So you're getting ready because there's two things. There's the Backstreet Boys immersive experience, which is kind of, we'll talk about an experience you can go through and see a bunch of stuff and take your pictures. And then you also have the concert. But these are two separate things. So do you get fully ready before the immersive experience? Are you like getting ready for the entire night?
I did. I mean, I don't think Ryan was as into it as I was. So I had the hair curled, and they had put out an announcement right when the show started that they wanted to do a whiteout to throw back to the Millennium album, which was all white. And so I had made sure, much to Ryan's chagrin, I'm sure at the beginning, although he definitely did not stick out like a sore thumb when we went, that he had a really nice white button up. He looked sharp that night. And I had brought two different dresses. So it was a hard decision to figure out exactly what to wear that night.
I was kind of confused on what the white was, but I've seen other people posting that. So I think maybe that's the whole thing now. Like now they've moved on to it's now
Mhm.
everybody wears white to all the shows, maybe because that's all I'm seeing. But I think that's pretty fun that they like put a dress code on it.
Yeah, and where we were staying at Paris, like I said, right in the middle of the strip, but the Sphere is attached to the Venetian hotel, which is
Mhm.
up towards the north end, I believe, of the strip. And the immersive experience is actually within the shops at the Venetian. So, every casino has basically a mall. And so this immersive experience is in the Venetian's shops. We were not going to have enough time to go through this experience and then make it back to our hotel to get ready before getting to the concert at night. So I think we left our room at 2 or 3 in the afternoon to go up to this
Mhm.
experience. And I knew I would not see my bed again until after midnight.
And what time does this experience open? Is it open all day whenever you want to go, or is it like open at a certain time?
I think they open it at 11 or noon, something like that.
Okay.
And then it closes at 7 or 8. So when the concert starts, the experience closes. The experience is multi level, and the entire thing
Mhm.
is made out to be like it's an airport because, once again, it was the theme from their Millennium album. So you get basically all these different props and displays and the old fashioned airport boards that had all their tour stops from the 2000 tour were listed there. It was kind of one of those cool experiences. And so and it's free to go in. Anybody can go inside this experience. So if you happen to be wandering through the Venetian shops, everybody can wander in.
I'm going to play a quick video of it because you guys filmed a little bit of it so people can get an idea of what's there. And my favorite part of this video is that Heather looks like a 14-year-old girl. You look so excited and giddy walking through this. So I love that you captured this, Ryan. We're going to play it really quick. You're like, we're here. It looks like you're walking through an airplane, maybe. Love your dress choice. This is great.
It was, they have a bar over there where it looks like you're about to check in for your flight, and they had themed drinks. It was hilarious. And you could put a post-it up on the wall. You could write a note to the Backstreet Boys, which did. You can do,
They're reading all those notes for
they're
sure.
reading, I'm sure they're reading all of them. They had an entire wall as you walked, you had to wait to get into like the TRL experience and that kind of thing. And on that entire wall was every poster I had in my room when I was a teenager. All of those, the Bop magazine
Oh
and all
yeah.
of those. It was so cool to just look over and see. It's like, I don't know, diving back 30 years ago to a whole different world.
Yeah, I'm sure it opened a like file in your brain that had been
Oh, yeah.
closed for a long time.
Oh,
So
yeah. That's the best part about this because I was excited, but I didn't realize how excited I was going to be until we walked through that experience. And I was like, this is going to be the best night ever because it was like all of a sudden I was 14 again and I was 100% there for it. Like I was locked in. This poor man had no idea what the rest of the evening was going to bring because I was on cloud nine.
yeah, this is where I began to understand that Heather was about to have like an existential crisis about, everything that's happened in her life. And like, I'm sure she appreciated our wedding, but I'm like, I don't think we have the
Oh,
top spot anymore. Like we hadn't even gone to the
no.
sphere yet. And she's like
Yeah.
having moments. And I'm like, I don't think I can compete with this, but I'll just soak up the brownie points for having picked this trip. We'll go with that.
I love it. So, immersive experience is worth it. Try to go over there whether you're
Mhm.
going to the concert or not. And then you guys still have time to go to a nice dinner before the show. So, I think you head to SushiSamba, which I've been to the one in Chicago, which I think has since closed, but it's a great sushi restaurant. So, did you guys enjoy dinner at SushiSamba?
Yeah, we got reservations under the wire. We had booked it a couple days before, just trying to plot out our days, and they were so crowded with people trying to get in before the show.
Mhm.
Thank goodness
Oh,
we
I bet.
had, and they were on point. I mean, they were making an effort to get everybody their food ASAP because they knew everybody was trying to get out the door. But the food was great.
We were pretty recognizable.
Yeah,
We
I'm
were pretty
sure. All these people
recognizable at
in
that
white.
point.
Yes. Also,
Everyone's in
everybody in
white.
the
You walk
restaurant
in,
was
they're
in
like,
white.
you know where you're going. Well, the best part is too, because then you pass people and everyone had the same excited look in their eyes. All the women, I should ask. There were a few men that didn't look quite as excited, but there were conversations spontaneously happening. It was everyone had this common um, sisterhood almost of super pumped about getting to see the Backstreet Boys. Poor Ryan. He was like, I don't know. He looked at me at the restaurant and he's like, I don't know if I knew what we were signing up for when I bought these tickets.
Yeah, he's like, I'm along for the ride now. There's no getting out, but I did not know what ride I was going on.
No, and,
Yep.
and most concerts you go to, I feel out of place in most of them. I feel out of touch because you've got people who are 18 to 30, and they're doing their thing, and then being 42, it's like, okay, that's a whole different world to me. I don't understand. But at this concert, like everybody was 35 to 50. They were all exactly thinking and feeling the exact same things that everyone else there was. It was kind of a very unique experience that way. Everybody had the same complaints that their feet hurt and their backs were sore. Like
I love
it
it.
was really hilarious.
Okay, so you guys get your sushi at a very crowded sushi samba with everybody else in white. Then you're back over to the sphere. I'm going to share a photo of it from outside. One of the coolest things I think about Vegas now is that the sphere is there. And from so many hotel rooms, you can see it. It always looks so cool. They're doing so many different themed things on the sphere. So this is a photo of you guys walking up to it. So explain walking up to it. Is it changing? What is this white and black? I'm like, I don't even know what I'm looking at, but it looks really cool. So talk about like arriving and just the excitement of like getting there.
It was way bigger than you think it's going to be. We saw it when we were driving to the hotel because it's a pretty big visual across the strip now from different places. And you walking up to it, I kind of had it in my brain that it was just this giant LED wall because again, I work in the AV world a little bit now, so I've got a not a great understanding because that's not my background so much, but of kind of what the technology is that goes into something like this. And when you get up and close to it, it is it's thousands of tiny little LED lights that are all
Wow.
programmed to show this image. So it's absolutely incredible. They would do an ad for, they were starting The Wizard of Oz shortly after we left, which was a full immersive interactive experience. And they would have like the tornado in the house falling on the dome outside. It was really bigger and crazier than I thought it was, but all those tiny little LED lights would make something so cool.
Yeah, I looked up
Super cool.
I looked up the details. Outside on the sphere, there's 1.2 million lights that they use
Hmm.
for everything. Inside the sphere, they have 121,000 speakers, which is just
Hmm.
unbelievable. And then the inside is made up of 64,000 panels that are LEDs.
Hmm.
Like, just the engineering that goes into this thing is
Yeah,
otherworldly.
it's
Well, and I just pulled
incredible.
up a photo of like when you guys walked in, and I'm sure I just
Mhm.
went to not even close to this, but a Benson Boone concert with my whole family. And it was the first time the little kids had been to a concert. And even that feeling of like walking into a stadium that's like so big and the stage is there and the screens, it almost kind of like takes your breath away for a moment. Like even my littlest was like, I'm kind of scared we're gonna like fall. Like it feels so big. I feel like this has to have that feeling times 100, where you're like walking into this crazy venue. And then like this photo I have pulled up, which I'm assuming is just kind of like a backdrop as you guys are
Mhm.
arriving, it doesn't look like it's a screen. It looks like a physical
Yeah.
thing you could touch. It's wild.
When you walk in, at least for the entrance that we walked in, there's an entire area that just talks about the physics of what goes into operating and building the sphere, which was super interesting. And then when you get in, I mean, you're in these little tunnels and then you open up to this massive, and this is actually the picture they showed at the very end of the concert after we were filtering out. The beginning part had this huge countdown that was going on in this very futuristic kind of spaceship vibe. It was a bit of a shocker visually when you open up, especially from the floor. Like I'm sure other people have had different experiences the higher up they go. Ryan very strategically got us floor tickets because after our fourth kid, I have a lot of issues with motion sickness. And I was terrified. I went to one field trip with my children that was an IMAX thing that had the movement and the huge screen, and I got so sick. We were down low. I could always look down or kind of shield my eyes a little bit if I started to feel nauseous. Was not an issue, thankfully. That and I wanted to see the Backstreet Boys. Like I was not there for the Sphere as much as he was there for the Sphere. I was there for the Backstreet Boys, and I wanted to
Yeah,
get as close as we could.
this is like a win-win for you guys because you get the Backstreet Boys and he gets like the side of the sphere that's like all the technology and he's researching the panels and the lights. So you guys, this is like a perfect trip for the two of you. I have a
Really.
quick video of the sphere before the concert when you guys are filming so people can get an idea of kind of what it looks like once you walk in and the countdown is going. Let's play that real quick.
And all of the videos that they have on there are just B-reel from when they were touring in the early days or for their Millennium Tour. So
Oh,
there were
cool.
thing, and it was really, you got like a little snapshot into what it was like for them 30 years ago or 25 years ago when they were actually on the Millennium Tour.
So cool. So you guys are in the sphere. The countdown started. The excitement is there. Are you guys grabbing like drinks? I'm assuming it's Vegas. It's the sphere. There's like bars. Are there themed drinks? Like what's happening right before the concert starts?
So when you walk in through the tunnel, there's an area that connects both sides of it that has a massive bars where all of the merch was, which, when you've got people in their 30s, 40s, and probably early 50s that are able to come to Vegas for a show, they're in line for merch and they're spending probably, I can't even put into words what people walked out with bags
Yeah,
of stuff.
hundreds
And
and
every
hundreds of
sweatshirt
dollars.
was like $120. It was crazy. So there's a full bar. There were bars on each side of the floor while we were waiting for the show to start that they had just set up. There were bars. There was a lot of
Yeah.
alcohol opportunity in the Sphere itself. They did have some early 2000s themed drinks. I think I got one. It was like a Tito's and lemonade kind of thing. Again, though, because I get motion sick, I had one drink and was done. I wanted to fully enjoy every aspect of this evening. I did not need alcohol to have fun at all that night.
No.
Well, and you have to, when folks go to the Sphere for these shows, just so they understand, they'll allow you to start lining up outside around 5 or 5:30, but
Mhm.
they don't open the doors until 6:30, I think it is. And then they advertise the show starts at 8, but they don't come on stage till 8:45. And so as more and more people file in, you're up close to the stage. It's actually difficult to get out and then go get a
Yeah.
drink or go to the merch stand and then try and shove your way back into where you left your significant other or your friends. So
Yes.
if you think you're going to want merch, show up early. Yeah, it's going to be an easier thing for you to get that and then weave your way back to where you want to stand. If you think you're going to show up at 7:45 and then get up front, that's just not going to happen.
No.
Well, and this is because you guys bought floor seats. There are actual seats as well, right? If someone doesn't want to be that feeling of being closed in, you can buy an actual seat and not be in that situation.
That's correct.
Yep.
So, I mean, they've got 4 levels. They'll be labeled 100 to 400. I've seen on Reddit, people have put out there, the pros and cons of each section. The one thing I will tell people to be cautious of, if you go back, I think 25 rows or back, your view of the very top part of the sphere can be cut off by the overhang of the section that's over top of you. And so
Got it.
just be mindful. They are listed as obstructed view or partially obstructed view when you go to buy the tickets. Don't ignore that. That's real. So, you just have to know what you're getting when you purchase these tickets.
Yeah. And it is high. Like, I mean, you'll get a great view of the screen from those higher up, but the people are going to be very tiny down on the stage because it goes pretty much straight up.
Okay.
I would like to say too, merch can be purchased at the experience at the Venetian as well. And it had the exact same merch at both places. So it's not like you have to wait. I bought my merch at the Sphere because I just didn't want to carry it around all evening to dinner and everything. And I figured I would just see what was there, but it ended up being exactly the same as what you could get. It was crowded by that 7:45 timeframe, but I would like to. It wasn't that bad until probably 7:30. Like when we got there, we had room to breathe and move. And again, we weren't with a bunch of drunk 20-year-olds or anything crazy like that. Like at some concerts, if you're down in like the pit, would be more aggressive. I didn't have a beer spilled on me. Like I've been to concerts where things like that have happened. Everybody was there for the same reason. If you were on the floor, you were diehard Backstreet Boys. And we had 40 new friends within the first hour of being there because everybody was super pumped and excited about the show and trying to figure out what the set list, because people had gone and researched what the set list was and what they were going to start with. And it was great.
Yeah, I knew what we were getting when there was two ladies next to us from St. Louis, I think. And when the music started, I look over and they pulled these fake sequin microphones out of their purses to sing along. And I'm like, this is how the night's going to go. Okay. People
That's
watching.
the energy of the evening.
Yes.
Okay, speaking of the energy of the evening, I'm going to play the video of the start of the show, which you guys just prepare yourselves. I got excited watching this. I'm like, I'm ready for the rest of the show. So here is what everybody was waiting for, the anticipation, the countdown. Here's the start of the show. And I've seen this on Instagram. I mean, I feel like at first you're a little like, wait, what is happening? It's like a little nerve-wracking.
And it looks big, but it doesn't look that big until you put like the stage in context. It's just so huge on how the screen, and you feel like you're totally in it. You're about to blast off.
Well, because the blast off, everyone screams with the blast off. And then the collective, oh, and all the phones are out.
And then everyone's waiting for someone to pop out, but it's like another minute of
It's like, where are they?
Uh-huh.
And the anticipation's building.
Oh, yeah.
Now it looks like we're going to get sucked up into a UFO.
And you'll find I kept focusing on the stage off and on because you would get disoriented by looking at the ceiling. You almost had to make yourself look down at the stage just to remember where you're at.
Well, I noticed you kind of see them here in a minute and they're there, but you're looking at the screen.
Right.
Yep.
You're like, where are they? Where are they?
It was so great. Everyone's holding their breath because they know, and where are they? Oh, there they are.
Yeah. I had to cut it short because the video was so big. My platform was like, it cannot upload. Okay. But so Heather, in this moment, are you just like losing your mind? Is everybody losing your mind? Is it just like the best night ever?
Everyone around honestly, when I realized how close we were, I think I didn't really fully comprehend how close we were going to be until that moment, and I was like, 14-year-old me would have died. Just dead at this point. It was incredible.
Yes.
I've got the best pictures. We were 3 people back from the stage, and they were very good at interacting with the crowd. I mean, they definitely played to the ground a little bit more because it's so big and everyone's focusing on the screen. I mean, they knew what their audience was expecting. It was fantastic.
Yeah, I watched some of your other videos and they looked, it didn't look like I mean, I'm sure obviously they've aged, but
Yep.
they're dancing, they're moving all around, they're interacting with the crowd. Like it sounds like they knew the job and they showed up and they are like making it worth your while, which is so awesome.
Oh, yeah, they had a blast, like, you could tell that they were really enjoying every single part of it, and if you follow them on Instagram, like I do, you can see all of the behind the scenes kind of footage, and they really do just they had an absolute blast together, it looks and you could tell on stage, it came through.
Saying, and they play nonstop for hour and 45 minutes, I want to say.
Mhm.
There's
It
no
did not last long
intermission.
enough.
There's no open earth. There's none of that. And when you think about this, you're like, my goodness, all the expense and everything you go through for an hour and
Mhm.
45 minutes. But it did not feel like we got ripped off in any way, shape, or form. It was a really excellent show.
That's so awesome. I was going to ask how long it was. So an hour 45, you probably, I mean, you guys don't have seats. You're standing and dancing and screaming the entire time. So it probably kind of felt like a workout by the end.
Yeah. Our calves hurt, our legs hurt, like, we walked back to the hotel room afterwards, and we're both like, "We can't do that again for a while, like, this we're too old." I did not wear sensible shoes, and that was a
I mean,
big
you have to have
mistake.
the outfit. So
I know, they were such futuristic, cute-looking sandals, and I had regrets at the end of it, um, but it was worth it. The walk back to the hotel was killer at the end of that concert.
I just shared a photo that I'm just calling best night of Heather's life because she is smiling with her arms up and she's got her white dress and her cool futuristic shoes. And she's like, this was it. I can die a happy woman now.
Mhm.
Oh, I wanna go back so bad. I've had Ryan checking for tickets, like, every day, and he's like, "I cannot justify because they went viral, really, once the show hit and people started sharing. Because we went the 2nd week it
Mhm.
was their 2nd weekend that they had done the show, and so we got a sneak peek of everything the 1st week, and then maybe it's just my algorithm, but I had videos of this concert for the I still get them popping up in my reels and my For You because it just took off and went crazy. Because apparently, I'm not the only one who felt very, I don't know, validated in their boy band love after that concert. And it was, it's a weird thing to describe because I almost roll my eyes at myself a little bit because it was so much fun just to be that I mean, I'm in my 40s. I like being close at a concert. I'm not a nosebleed person. He's created this bougie monster that is his wife now, and he's stuck dealing with me in all of my wants now. Um, thank heavens he's a good sport. But it was just this really weird you left feeling like, okay, this I feel like I just went back in time 20 years. The nostalgia was at an all-time high. I don't know. I felt so great walking out of there, and I think it was just because, like, you hear everything so differently after so much life experience, and it brought you right back to how I thought about things as a teenager and what I thought about these people who I don't know. Like, I've never met a Backstreet Boy in real life. I have no connection to them. They don't know who I am. But it was and he's laughing at me. But it was the weirdest feeling, and I thought I was being so silly. I was like, "I can't believe I got this excited over the Backstreet Boys." And then I watched and heard everyone else that went to this concert say the exact same thing. Like, it heals your inner child. I think that's a little bit much, but at the same time, there was something really powerful about listening to the songs that you listened to when you were 16, 15 years old and having a whole group of people around you that resonated with it and loved it as much as you did. It was really amazing.
I love that. That was so beautiful. It's so true though. Like when you were listening to those songs, you hadn't like lived a ton of life yet. And you probably thought you had. You were like, "Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
my life. I'm so stressed out." And then now looking back, you're like, "Oh my gosh, look at how much has happened in my life since that time." And music just sticks with you forever. It's so crazy how
Yeah.
you can remember words from, 13 years old.
Oh, yeah. It was a more powerful evening that I anticipated, and that sounds silly to say, but it really was. Like, I came back to work, and all of the guys that I work with asked how it was because they are AV guys. They wanted to know about the Sphere, and I was like, "Sphere was fine. The Backstreet Boys, incredible." And they're like, "You are ridiculous." I'm like, "You don't understand how cool this experience was." 20 years ago, I never would have thought I'd have the opportunity to see a band that I loved so much when I was so young. Still, they're doing the same dance, maybe not exactly the same dance move, pretty similar. Like they got around pretty good for guys that are in their 50s. I mean, it was neat experience to be there that close and to get to be part of it.
I love it. Well, Ryan and Heather, this was such a fun trip to share. Thank you so much for being here. And kudos to you guys for prioritizing fun and getaways in your marriage. It's truly so important. So I'm going to end this episode the way I end every episode, which is if someone out there is considering a trip to Vegas to see the Backstreet Boys at the Sphere, what would make you say, just book it?
It'll make your wife happy, which makes your life better. That's
I
I
think it's
love it.
paid off for you like tenfold at this point. Although the one drawback for poor Ryan is I really do want to go back. They've released more dates. And I feel like I have the bug and I need to go back and see it again. So maybe that's more of a warning. It was hopefully not a once in a lifetime experience for me. Hopefully I do get to go back, but it was one of the coolest concert experiences in my 40s, full grown adult that can afford to go to some pretty cool concerts kind of thing. I mean, I highly recommend. I have a girlfriend who was a sorority sister who just pinged me a couple days ago about tickets and she's going. And I mean, it's worth every penny, 100%.
That's amazing. And that's one of the reasons I was excited that you guys wanted to come on to share about this because they have released more dates and more tickets. So for all of you guys listening, you can get on and check out how expensive it's gotten at this point.
They do have packages with the Venetian, and I've kind of toyed around, Ryan, with what that might be like. If you're combining the cost of hotel and airport transfer and your tickets to the show, it's not that bad.
Okay, you guys look into the packages. Thank you guys so much for being here today and for letting us live vicariously through you and your Vegas vacation.
Thanks,
Thanks so
Kelsey.
much for having us. We appreciate it.
And for everyone listening, don't forget to subscribe to the show, leave a review, and share this episode with your favorite boy band loving friends. I'll see you guys on the next episode of Trip Tales.